Hey, it's Mouse, and I'm actually back with another vlog. Woohoo! Sorry that I didn't upload anything last week. I accidentally deleted the file when I was making space for my face cam for my creator sim. I deleted it before I even got it onto the computer by accident, which I was like, who cares? And no one seemed to notice or care, so I was like, eh. But because I'm doing this for myself, I figured, this week I'm just gonna put one up, and yeah, so whatever. Anyway, yeah, I have been trying to keep with my 100 Days of Happiness thing, and I've done okay. This past week, I kind of forgot to write anything down for any of the days, so I'll sort of just fill you in on what's been happening for that week. But I can actually go back to what I was talking about in the one that I deleted, like an idiot. And that was actually a really good week. There was a really, really terrible thing that happened, but we'll get into that in a minute. Well, a few minutes, give or take. Anyway, yeah, so on Tuesday, was it Tuesday? No, Thursday. I managed to stop a panic attack before it even began, which was like, yes, massive props to the mouse. She is doing it. Yeah, I was running a bit late for work, and I'd somehow gotten into my head, oh, you're gonna get fired today. This is the last straw. You've been late a few times. Chef is getting kind of sick of it. You are getting fired. You should totally start looking for, work in Queensland right now. Yeah, don't even think about staying out the shift. You are done. You are screwed. Anyhow, taxi ride out to work, I was like, oh god. And then I got there and I started, not being able to breathe quite right. And I managed to stop it, which was like, yes. Yeah, Chef was all like, calm down, it's not actually that big of a deal, don't work yourself up. And I was like, he did the whole, oh, it's not that bad, and it's like, no, in my head, I've actually made it out to be this terrible, terrible thing, and I still feel guilty for being late, obviously, but I'd made it into this huge thing in my head that, there was no recovering from. And being told to calm down, that didn't help at all. No. It was the breathing. I forced myself to breathe. I removed myself from the situation. I actually left the kitchen, went into the kitchen office, sat there for about 30 seconds and just... And then I went back out again and we had an adult conversation, which is good. Yeah, so that was Thursday. On Friday I didn't screw up at all, and that made my day. Is not often I have a day where I do not screw up. I think it's just part of being an apprentice. Some apprentices are just magic and they never screw up, and I would like to know how they manage, because that is totally unfair for the rest of us. But yeah, I didn't screw up. So. On Saturday, I managed to devise a little cheat sheet for the kitchen hand, because he is a little bit of a handful. He likes asking questions, which isn't a bad thing, but he tends to ask the dumb ones. And I know there are people out there, myself included, to be honest, that say there is no such thing as a dumb question. If you ask the same question 3 times, and you've been given the same answer all 3 times, don't ask. Just do. Remember and do. So I wrote a little list of things that he would have to do, because he was taking over my section and I was doing another one that's a little bit more advanced, I guess, than what he was doing. And yeah, I wrote a little list of, if you're plating this, you need to do this, and it needs to be done in this order. and it needs to look like this. And, you know, little tips like, you know, common sense, don't leave ice cream out on the bench. If the waitresses say something to you like table 3 is cleared, you have to acknowledge them. Waitresses like being acknowledged just like we like being acknowledged, and if you look after your waitresses, they will generally look after you. From experience, they will gab as much food as they possibly can, but no, we're no better. Give or take. Depends on the waitress. And that night I actually managed to hang out with some Aussie YouTuber buddies that I've made in the last 6 months, which is like, yay! Kirky, my boyfriend, and I found a Cards Against Humanity kind of online thing. So Deli, James and Tom got on. I think that was all that was there. Yeah, we actually had a Skype conversation, played Cards Against Humanity together. There were many, many terrible jokes that were just amazing, and I had so much fun, and hopefully everyone else did too. It'd be fun to do it again. And this time with Meg. Meg, I have not forgotten you. You need to play Cards Against Humanity with us. And Kathy too. Definitely Kathy. We invited you, Kathy, and you didn't even come. Uni, I guess. I have school today, actually, which is... ugh. I don't normally get dressed up like this for school. I just felt like looking like a school kid, I guess. Considering I haven't been one for so long. Yeah, so anyhow, Sunday, I spent most of the day just on the couch watching movies, which was awesome. I watched George of the Jungle, which was great for 90s nostalgia, but if you didn't grow up in the 90s, I don't know how you'd take to the film. It is so, I guess it felt dated, but because I am from that era, it connected with me. So yeah, I definitely, like, if you haven't seen it, which would be surprising to me, but if you haven't seen it, I would recommend just giving it a go. But yeah, if you don't like it, I wouldn't hold it against you. I really like it. And I watched The Terminal, and what else? A Lego Movie. Lego Movie is so good. It is amazing. Everything is awesome. Yes. Oh, what else did I do that day? Probably not much. I think I just Minecrafted for about half an hour. I did my hardcore thing and just left it at that. Well, on Monday, one of the waitresses, not waitress, why am I calling her a waitress? One of the bar staff nearly burnt the hotel down, which was like, she didn't succeed, but you know, there's always take two. But no, I don't want work to burn down, in all honesty, but it did mean that I got a 20-minute break outside, just hanging out with the patrons. It was great. Just sitting there. Ooh, fireys have turned up okay. It was cool. And what happened on Tuesday? I actually have a little cheat list, that's why I'm kind of looking down. I took my computer to work, and on my split I managed to build and furnish and landscape an entire house, which is, whoa, that gives me a 3-hour window, and I know I spent at least half an hour hanging out with one of the girls I work with. So yeah, I feel, you know, proud of that. And yeah, life's small achievements. And Wednesday I got home on my break. I did a little bit of recording. I think I hung out with my mum as well for a bit, which was really nice because we don't get to hang out very much during the week. The crappier part of last week, and what got me really, really not, I don't know how to explain how I was feeling. when I first found out that I have depression, I went looking for other people who did have the same condition as me and had actually managed to be successful. I found out that Robin Williams was someone who had overcome it, and he was such an inspiration to me, and I really, really looked up to him in finding out that he had not only died but taken his own life. That kind of threw me for a loop, and I was quite shaken for a few days. Wasn't great. Yeah. All I can say is that I hope his family find a way to, not to get past it, but to accept it. And I hope he is happy wherever he is now. Because, yeah, he was a wonderful man and someone I really looked up to. But I don't want to be on the dramas and all that. I don't want to focus on the negative. This is not a negative vlog. Yeah. So, change is happening at work. I don't know if I mentioned it before. I actually had to re-record this because the cat toppled the towel that I had this sitting on. Like, I have like a lolly jar, and then another lolly jar, my 3DS, some nail buffers, a coffee cup turned upside down, and then my iPhone balanced very precariously. And I'm in the hallway at the moment because the light is good. I don't remember how much of this I've already said in the last time I filmed this. But yeah, so big changes at work, which is really interesting. Yeah, our head chef got transferred to another restaurant within the group that, it's hard to explain. There's a company, and they have multiple restaurants. And it's not like a franchise, they just legitimately like own all of them. They are different names and everything. Anyhow, my head chef, guy I considered like a father figure, he was amazing, has now been taken from here and put over here. And I'm going to miss him. He's such a lovely person, and oh, why would they do that to us? We only just got a team that we were happy with. Our brigade was perfect. And now they've taken him away. We're gonna cope though. Our sous chef actually stepped up and he is now our head chef, and I really like him. We're actually the same age and have a few things in common, and he knows how to handle me when I'm not. So, basically he can kind of relate, I guess. Like, I don't know. But yeah, so dynamic is changing, which is exciting but scary. But I guess I only have to worry about it for another, let me see, we're in August, whoa, 5 months, woo, maybe 6, I don't know, depends what date I actually decide to leave. And that's another thing, I've actually got to start thinking about when I'm going to leave for the mainland. Everything's kind of like more real now. It's very, very scary. Thinking, oh my god, I have to pack up my whole life. What am I going to do? But exciting. Very exciting. Sorry I'm so jittery, by the way. I actually haven't slept and it is 6 in the morning. Ha! And I have class in 2 hours. Yay! I have a very legitimate reason for not sleeping, by the way. I finished work last night and had a drink and a half. I bought 2 drinks and then I shared my second one with my friend, the same one I was hanging out with the other day, and then caught a taxi so I could get home because I don't drive. Please don't judge. But yeah, I waited over an hour in the freezing cold for this taxi to rock up, and it never did. Well, that guy didn't. I actually had to get onto Facebook on my iPad because my phone was flat at the time, which makes things way, way worse. I had to get onto my iPad, message Kirk, who is in Queensland, I am in Tasmania, get him to call the local taxi service and say, hey, go get my girlfriend, she's in the freaking cold and she's been waiting an hour, can you do something about this please? And yeah, by the time I got home, I had started to kind of, you know when you're really cold and everything starts to hurt, everything is pretty much the colour of my scarf, and you get drowsy and just not with it. I was at that stage. I'd been in the cold that long, it was that cold. As soon as I got home, I was like straight in the shower, really, really hot. Like, all you guys that have done the ice challenge, you got nothing on what I had to put up with last night. It was bad. I am sorry for bitching on Twitter about it, but it was so freaking bad. And the hotel was actually closed, so I couldn't even go inside, and I don't have keys to the kitchen because I'm only an apprentice, so I was actually stuck outside. Like a homeless person. But yeah, by the time I actually got my body temperature back up and felt human, I then had to eat, and it was around 11:30 at night by that point, and after I'd eaten and had something to drink, like just like a hot drink, no more alcohol at that point, I was totally sober by that point, like, ugh. Yeah, I just really didn't feel like sleeping, and then, yeah, it is now 6 in the morning, and I have class. I'm a dickhead. And this has been going for 17 minutes now. Oh, God. So I guess I should just wrap it up. There are a few more little bits and pieces I wanted to show you, but no, I can wait till next week, I guess. I mean, the thing that's sitting right here would probably be better if I finish it first. And I need to figure out something to do for Thursday, because Thursday will be like around my 6-month posting on YouTube. Oh, and I should do this. I've been crapping on for nearly 18 minutes and I still haven't done this. Alright, so what am I going to be building this afternoon? Because I'm still running behind time because I are ridiculous. Ridiculous. We get this one. What year is this one? You guys can read it before I do. Maybe, if I can get the cut. Nah, the exposure is locked. I'm going to be making an orphanage apparently, and that was suggested by Super Simmer. So that will be fun. I actually used to do this kind of stuff when The Sims first came out. I actually had a lot that's where I would build the orphanage pretty much all the time in Sunset Valley. So I'll probably go do that again, but with my updated building knowledge and all of that jazz. So yeah, that's what's gonna happen. I'm gonna do this as soon as I get back from class this afternoon. It shouldn't be too long for me to knock out. And you're gonna get another video today as well. It's like 3 videos today. 3. I have one that only needs to upload for another 102 minutes. I've got my laptop sitting right there, by the way. It's not my head or anything. It's sitting right there. Yeah, so that is part 2 of the Family Fort. God, that needs a new name. Yeah, Family Fort is going to be up probably by about 9 o'clock, knowing my internet, because of like processing and all of that. This is clearly going up today, and this, I will hopefully have the orphanage. Oh, I can almost, yay, see, it works. Hey. Anyway, I have to get ready for school. I hope you have a fantastic day, and I will See you next week. Alright, bye bye.